Howdy, welcome back to the Dice Cast. We've got the continuation of our Fall Rubicon tournament here, the last first round game in our Fall Rubicon, so excited to see that. I'm Nick, this is Alex.
Hi there.
And we've got a game between two factions that are kind of at opposite ends of the meta right now. We've got the top dogs, and then an army that's running one model from another of the top dogs, but is toward the bottom. We've got Lumineth from Alex against my Hedonites of Slaanesh.
Yeah, and I've played this Lumineth list on the channel before with a little bit of different spells and stuff brought in, but it'll be interesting to see how they go against each other. I definitely think you have a lot of play, especially with your Gargant, which is making me nervous.
It should be an interesting matchup. I'm running Hedonites, that's my faction, but a relatively small portion of my list is actually Hedonites. I run a lot of Coalition and then that Mercenary Gargant. So
yeah, but you can summon in all sorts of stuff. So
absolutely.
I've had bad luck with Lumineth against summoning armies with my low model or more low wound count. So we'll see how it goes. I should also mention we have a podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, we recorded a podcast for the channel called the Dice Podcast. That should be in your playlist, and check it out. Maybe comment on it. Tell us what you think.
Yeah. So in addition to these battle reports, which we've been loving doing and getting great feedback on, and constantly trying to improve, we've now got the podcast where we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cycle through, get that feedback, keep trying to make that better, and it's pretty good content. We love thinking about and talking about Age of Sigmar.
It's so much fun to record.
Absolutely. And so we're just sharing all that. So, but before further ado, let's get into this.
Awesome. So like we said, I am running Lumineth, the Great Nation CR, how do you pronounce it? So I'm running Teclis, a Cathalar. The Cathalar has Total Eclipse for its spell, and then my general is the Venari Lord Regent, who has Speed of Hish, and he will have Perfect Blade and Goading Arrogance on him as well. And then I am running 2 units of 20 Wardens, a unit of 20 Sentinels. The Wardens have Lambent Light, and the Sentinels have Ethereal Blessing. And then I'm also running the Umbral Spell Portal. And to wrap it all up, I do have the Shrine Luminor to give out some command points and some rerolls for my wizards. So that's my list.
So I've got my Hedonites list. That's Hedonites mostly in name at this point, apart from what I'll bring onto the table during the course of the game. My general is Glutos or Scallion, but because he's a named character, he doesn't get a command trait. Likewise, my only other hero is Mega Gargant, Grunnock One-Eye, and so with only named heroes, I don't get any artifacts either. We'll see how that plays for me, but I am missing some bonuses because of that. And I'm definitely running light on heroes, although the heroes I have are pretty heavy. For my battle line, I've got 2 units of Daemonettes and a unit of Hellstriders with Hell Scourges, both fast-moving, light screening units. And then I've got a pretty big coalition contingent. I've got a Chaos War Shrine that's Slaanesh marked, and 2 units of Chaos Knights that are Slaanesh marked with the lances. I'm also running the Dreadful Visage Endless Spell to supplement that, although I don't have a lot of faith for getting the Endless Spell up in this matchup. Hopefully I'll be able to get it off once. Overall, I'm pretty confident that the list is going to hang in and make a game of it, but it's going to be tough to squeeze out a win. Of my 125 wounds, 77 of them are non-Hedonites, so it'll be interesting to see how it plays. Let's get into it. So this week we're playing Power in Numbers. This is the same match that Justin played against Jake in their Sylvaneth versus Orc War Clans matchup. In this matchup, Battle Line kind of has OBSEC, if you're familiar with the term. Battle Line trumps anything else when it comes to controlling an objective. And the goal here is to, you don't score from holding objectives, you score from burning them. So at the start of the second battle round, you can burn objectives that you control at the end of your turn. And depending on how long you've held that objective, you get more points. So it's a sliding scale from 1 if you just gained control of it, 2 if you had it the turn before, up to 4 if you've had it for 2 turns, and then 8 if you burn it at the end of the game and you held it since the beginning. Or rather, if you burn it at the end of your turn in the 5th battle round. So the longer you can hold the objectives, the longer you can camp on them, the better you can get. It's a battle plan where if you can get all the objectives early on and burn them all, you're just going to win.
So basically my deployment here, I wanted to bring Teclis up close to the front line so I could Umbral Spell Portal and get it as far as I could. I know we have a 22-inch gap between us, so I wasn't afraid to put everything on the front line, especially since I get to choose priority. And then Sentinels I wanted to locate kind of centrally, but still in range of Guiding Flurries and Speed of Hish. And then I just spread out my Wardens and my Sentinels across the objectives so that his Chaos Knights aren't going to come and take them from me, because I'll hold them for them being battle line. And then everything is within range of the 18-inch aura of Teclis for protection of Teclis. So I'll get a 5-up ward on everything, assuming that spell goes off.
I got to deploy second here, which I'm losing drops. Don't get to pick the priority, but I do at least get to see how Alex deployed. He set up a lot of strength on one side and less strength on the other side, so that opens up an opportunity for me to maybe try to crack one side of of his formation, but it's going to be a difficult ask. And he does have the mobility to recover no matter what I've got with his teleport. I set up kind of 2 contingents within my army. I've got the Slaves to Darkness side and the Hedonites side, so that they can rely on their synergies with each other. And I do have some opportunity to make some long charges in turn 1, but really with the spread we've got, the 22-inch spread, even with the +2 to charge that the Chaos Knights have in Godseekers, it's going to be a real tough ask to get anything in turn 1, but anxious to see what Alex chooses to do with the priority here. I know he likes to get his defensive buffs up, but it's going to be an interesting battle plan regardless. So good luck, Alex.
Good luck. So I've racked it for a little bit, and I think I have to give it to you, just to avoid a double.
Makes sense. So we've got Hedonites going into round 1. I would normally get 2 command points here, but I'm only going to get 1. I do have to give up the command point that I would otherwise get with my general because I brought a mercenary here. So I'm going to be on 1 command point to the 3 for the Lumineth. I've got a fair number of things to do here at the start of the hero phase. First thing I'm going to do is with Glutos, he's going to prick himself on the Fane and take 1 mortal wound. And then on 2-up, he's going to get +1 to hit for the rest of the until my next hero phase. He does. So he has been wounded. And then with his heroic action, he's going to attempt a heroic recovery. And he will get that to heal D3, so that will restore that 1 wound to him. He's then going to attempt the prayer with Priestess de Leche to give his 5-up ward on a 2-up. And yes, he gets that. My battle tactic here is going to be Ferocious Advance. And I'm going to designate this Chaos War Shrine, this unit of Daemonettes, and this unit of Chaos Knights. They're all going to run this turn.
Okay.
That's all my start of hero phase.
I'm just going to try to get a command point with heroic leadership with my Venari Lord Regent, which I do.
Okay.
So I have 4, one of which can only be used by him.
Into the hero phase proper, the War Shrine is going to attempt to pray the Prayer of Chaos Undivided on the unit of Knights directly in front of it. That'll be on a 3-up, and it succeeds. So they're going to be re-rolling hits and re-rolling wounds until the next hero phase. Glutos, with his first cast, is going to attempt Mystic Shield. And that's going to go off on a 10.
Yeah, Teclis will attempt to deny this. I need a 10 on dice because it's +1 to deny. And I don't.
Mystic Shield then is going to go on Glutos. And then with my final cast, Glutos is going to attempt to cast Dreadful Visage. That's my endless spell. And And that's going to go off on a 7.
And I'll use Teclis' auto deny on that one.
Sure. That's it for hero phase. We can get into movement. Not the most action-filled turn here in terms of movement. It's really about getting myself into a position for future turns and making it difficult to take any of my objectives. Really just kind of shifting things forward, increasing my threat range without exposing too much, and getting ready to potentially weather a double against the Lumineth here. And I did complete my battle tactic. I got 1 depravity from Glutos being wounded during the turn. Overall, not a very productive turn, but I didn't expect much in terms of productivity on this round. So I will score a total of 2 victory points. And then we'll go into the bottom of 1. We've got Lumineth. We each gain a command point.
So for my battle tactic, I'm going to do aggressive expansion. I'm going to try real hard to hold the 2 objectives that my wardens are on. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, but and then for my heroic action, I am going to do heroic leadership from my Venari Lord Regent once again, which I get.
My heroic action, I'm going to attempt to get an unbind with Glutos. He's got an extra unbind.
At the beginning of the hero phase, Teclis is going to choose to cast 4.
Sure.
So the unit of Sentinels, the leader is going to cast Power of Hish. 6, which I get on a 10.
Okay, I do not have anything in range to unbind that.
The front unit of Wardens is going
front unit of Wardens?
the ones right next to the Sentinels.
Sure.
Is going to cast Power of Hish, which I think I get on a 6. I didn't get it on a 5, so I'm going to use the reroll from the Shrine to attempt it one more, which I didn't get again. I will use a Aether Quartz then to give it +1.
Sounds good. I will attempt to unbind that with Glutos. I think it's going to be one of the options of things I can deny on a lower roll. And I will block that on a 9.
Okay. I don't think there's anything with that. The Chaos Knights are within 18, so I will give the -1 bravery from that to them. The Venari Lord Regent will attempt to cast Greater Power of Hish, which I get on a 7. He has +1 naturally, and +1 from Teclis as well.
Sure.
Which I get on a 12.
Okay.
So D3 units will get Power of Hish for 2, so he'll give it to himself, and then the Wardens that failed it.
Sure.
And then the Wardens off to the side will attempt to cast Power of Hish as well, which they will get on a 5 on dice. So I get it within 7 +1 for 8.
8. I will use Glutos' second unbind to attempt to unbind that. Going to be on +1 here. And I will stop that on an 11.
Nicely done. So Teclis is going to cast Umbral Spell Portal. We've been going back and forth about whether or not this will help me or you more, but I think I am going to cast Storm of Searing White Light and do a 18-inch bubble of potential mortal wounds. That will hit everything in your army currently. Okay, so
I will. I'll let it go.
You let it go?
Yep.
Okay, so for the Chaos Knights on this far side, you want me to point to them?
Yeah.
Okay. For the Chaos Knights right here, on 2 up, they take nothing. The Demonettes right behind them, D3 for 1.
Okay. The
War Shrine for D3 for 3.
Okay. He does have his 6 up bubble. Save none of those.
The center Chaos Knights, nothing again. Chaos Knights tanking it pretty well. The Demonettes behind them for D6, for 6.
Ooh.
That was a good one. The... what are those things?
Hellstriders.
The Hellstriders for D3, for 2. Glutos for D3, for 3.
He does have his 5-up ward, so he's going to save 2 of those and take 1.
And the Gargant for D3, for 1.
Okay.
It's a lot of mortals.
6 on the Demonettes is definitely impactful.
Yeah. I'm then going to cast Speed of Hish on this unit of the Wardens. And the last spell will be Protection of Teclis.
Okay, I will attempt with my last Unbind to stop the protection of Teclis. It's going off on a 10. I need a 10 on dice.
Yep.
And it goes off.
Awesome. The Cathalar will cast Mystic Shield then on the front unit of Wardens right in front of the Sentinels. Which I get on a 7.
That'll go off.
Okay. 8 total. With a +1. Alright. I am going to go to the movement phase then. Alright, so for my movement here, I brought these Wardens up towards the Gargant and the Venari Lord Regent so that I can charge the Gargant and use Goading Arrogance with the Venari Lord Regent so he can't attack, but I can. The rest of the Wardens, I just kind of shuffled up a little bit so I could move my Sentinels a little bit closer and get in range of a handful of targets. So, and then Teclis and the Cathalar stayed still. Teclis is going to shoot at the unit of Chaos Knights on the center objective. This is 2s and 2s. Are they minus anything to hit?
They're not.
Okay. 2s and 2s. Yes. Yes, that's -3.
Okay. They are not going to have a save.
That's D6 damage for 3.
Okay. Because the War Shrine took 3 wounds in the hero phase, the range for its protection is down to wholly within 12 inches, which the Knights are not. So they're not going to get any ward on that. The 3 damage is just going to kill 1 Knight.
And then the Sentinels are actually going to shoot everything into your Hellstriders.
Sure.
I'm going to use the free command point from the Shrine for this and give them all out attack. So, hitting on 3s, 5s, and 6s do mortals.
Sure.
Take these out. That is 2, 4, 6 mortal wounds.
Sure.
And wounding on 4s, that's 4 wounds at no rend.
Okay. They are on a 4-up save. And I'm going to make 2 of them, fail 2 of them. That's going to be just enough to kill the unit.
Okay.
Exactly.
That is all of my shooting. So we'll go into some charges. I'm going to charge with the unit of Wardens. Anything above a 3 is bonus. And I get a 9. the plan was to get the Lord Regent as close as I could without being in range of a potential attack from the Gargant.
So I'm going to get a monstrous rampage here from the Gargant. Because of the bonuses to hit here from the Goading Arrogance and the potential to use Aether Quartz for that bonus, and the fact that the Gargant's not going to really be able to swing back anyway, I want to get some damage in here. So I'm going to stomp with the Gargant into the Wardens. Going to fail that on a 1.
Okay. So at the start of the combat phase, he is going to select the Venaria Lord Regent is going to select the Gargant for Goading Arrogance, which is he can only attack him, and it's +1 to attack anything that attacks him as well.
Sure.
Then we are going to start of the combat phase also use an Aether Quartz. I'm out of range to be able to eat it with the Cathalar and give it to someone else. So they have 1 Aether Quartz left, and they are +1 to hit.
Sure.
And then also at the start of the combat phase, the leader is going to crack his flask on a 2-up and do D3 mortal wounds. So 2-up for 2.
2 more wounds.
Yep.
As soon as we get into the hero phase, I'm going to use
Combat phase.
the combat phase. Thank you. I'm going to use the Gargant's hurled body ability. Once per combat phase, pick one enemy model within 3 inches. I'm going to pick the leader of that unit, and then because of the +2 I'm currently at on the hurled body roll, it's automatically going to pick up that model, and I'm going to throw him at the Venaria Lord Regent on a 4-up.
He's
Nope.
he's -1 to hit. Does that affect this? Okay.
So failed to damage the Venaria Lord Regent, but does eat the leader of that warden unit.
Which makes him no longer a wizard.
Sure.
Okay. Then we are going to... I only have 1 unit to select. Normally I could select 2, but we are going to pile in with these guys. And we are going to get... It's going to be 38 attacks. Hitting on 3s normally. They're -1 from Glutos, but they're +2 from the Aether Quartz and the Goading Arrogance. So they'll be hitting on 2s, wounding on 4s, no run. And then 6s do mortal wounds.
So I'm going to all-out defense here with the Gargant. There's no reason not to. I've got the command points for it.
Okay. It's 38 total attacks, so I'll roll the other 2, which both hit. 9 mortals. And the rest of these on... and then these are wounding on 4s. It's 9 mortals.
Okay.
And 2, 4, 6, 8 saves to make.
Okay.
At no rend. So you'll be on a 3-up?
Yep, 3-up on the save here. How many?
8 saves and 9 mortals.
Sure. 8 3-ups. And gonna fail just 2 of those. So he's still taking a total of 14. Now, he doesn't have an opportunity to attack back because of the Goading Arrogance from the Lord Regent. But he does get to pile in. I think he's going to pile in just... These spears are super nice for piling in.
Yeah.
He's going to pile in just back here as far as he can.
Yeah, and just stay close to that guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's the end of combat, and we'll take to the end of...
I've got some battle shock to make. So I can't fail the bravery, the battle shock check with the Chaos Knights, even with the -1. The Demonettes, however, can fail, but I'm just going to spend a command point there to auto pass that.
Makes sense.
In total, then, I'm going to collect 7 depravity there. That brings my total up to 8.
I did complete my battle tactic of holding these 2 objectives, so I will get my 2 points for that.
Sure.
All these turns don't feel super impactful yet. There's still a lot of models on the board, but I did give you a lot of depravity. but I think it's going to work out for me, hopefully.
Really depends what comes down in this
Yes.
priority.
This priority roll is one of the bigger turn 2 priority rolls.
All right, good luck. Tie at 6. Since I went first, that means I do get the option, and given the current situation, I really feel like I probably have to take it. So I'm going to get 2 command points here to your 3. Alright, at the start of the hero phase then, Glutos is going to prick himself on the Feign. He's going to take 1 damage. He's then going to attempt to pray with Priestess de Leche on 2 up. And he's going to get that, so he's got his ward back up. And he's got the... need to roll to see if he gets the bonus to hit. And he does. So he's +1 to hit and has the ward up. My battle tactic for this turn is going to be aggressive expansion, and I'll take these 2 objectives here, try to hold those. And then for my heroic action, I'm going to take Finest Hour with Grunnick.
Yep. I'm going to do heroic leadership with the Venari Lord Regent on a 4-up, which I get.
Sure.
So I'm up to 4, one of which can only be used by him. At the beginning of the hero phase, I wanted to try to dispel the spell portal as well, which I get on a 10.
The War Shrine is going to attempt to pray onto the Chaos Knights again, the Prayer of Chaos Undivided. And going to get that. So they're rerolling hits and wounds. Glutos is going to attempt to cast Mystic Shield. And going to get that on an 8.
I will attempt to deny with Teclis. Which I don't. I'm going to use the Shrine reroll or the reroll Dispel, which I do on a 9.
Okay, no Mystic Shield then. Then Glutos is also going to attempt to cast Dark Delusions. This is his spell from the lore. And that's currently going off on a 10.
And I'll automatically deny that with Teclis.
Sure. That's going to be it for my hero phase. We can get into the movement phase now.
Yep.
At the end of the movement phase, I am going to spend my 8 depravity for a summon. And that summon is going to be Actually, I'm going to spend 7 of it. I'm going to hang on to 1. Spending 7 depravity here and summoning an Exalted Chariot. There's a lot of temptation to save up here for something better, but the reality is that if I get doubled back, none of these depravity are going to do me any good. So, going to get something on the table here right away. That is not a hero model. It's not the hero version. It's just the base version. Okay. My movement phase here, it's really time to get aggressive. I am going to be coming in, probably opening up some Unleash Hells, but the reality is that I've got to start peeling some models off the table. Glutos and Grunnick hopefully are going to work together to take off that unit of Wardens. I brought the Chariot on in the middle of the field. It's fast, it's fairly hitty, and I can just use it as kind of a pinning piece and bring it in, hopefully start to work on things like that annoying Lord Regent. No shooting to do here, so it's just going to be some charges. As Godseekers, I do have +1 to charge army-wide, and the Knights are going to actually have another +1 because of their abilities, so we'll start to get into charging.
Okay.
Glutos has a 3-inch charge on top of the terrain here, and he's going to get in with a 7.
Hey.
Now, as my general, he's going to generate some depravity when he does that. Assuming I make at least 1 other charge, that'll be potentially a little extra depravity. This unit of Knights is going to attempt to charge.
Yep.
With +2, they got an 11.
Unfailable charge.
Charge with the other unit of Chaos Knights then, also with +2, and they're getting in on a 10.
So with the Sentinels, I'm going to use their free command point from the shrine to unleash hell here. It's going to be 19 shots, hitting on 5s, but mortal wounds on 5s. So
Sure.
that's really all I'm looking for. That is 6 mortal wounds.
Okay.
And you have a 5-up against mortal wounds?
They have got a 5-up ward against mortal wounds. So going to block one of those, going to take a total of 5 damage.
Okay.
I do have one more charge to make here. It's going to be the chariot that I just summoned. It's 9 inches away. Gets +1, needs an 8. And it's going to fail that on a 5. He is going to roar at the wardens. On 3-up. Got it. Monstrous Rampage. So Glutos is going to make all of his attacks then into the wardens first, activating him first.
At the beginning of the combat phase, I want to use my last Aether Quartz with that unit to give them +1 to save.
Sounds good.
-2 bravery on them now.
Sure. So, with Glutos, I've got 3 attacks with the Wailing Greatblade. They are +1 to hit, and you're no longer in Shining Company, correct?
Nope.
Okay, so that is going to be 2s and 3s. 6s to wound here, do mortals, so 2s and 3s. Oh, just 2 hits. And that's going to be 1 wound at -2.
-2, that puts me...
Should be on a 5.
Yep, puts me on a 5-up save, which I make.
Okay. The Flaying Scourge is 2 attacks at 2s and 4s. Both hit. And both wound, no rend on these.
This would be 3-up saves. I fail both of them.
Okay, just 1 damage each on those. Sacrificial Dagger is 1, 3, and 3 with the +1. That's going to be, that's going to go through, no rend.
One of them?
Yep.
So that will be a 3-up, which I save.
Okay. And then the Crushing Claws, he's got 6 attacks still. And these are going to be on 2s and 3s. Missed one of them.
That's average.
3s to wound. That is going to be 4 at -1.
4 at -1 puts me on a 4-up. Save 3 of them.
3 damage.
So that's 5 dead total.
Okay. You're going to get a couple activations.
Okay. So I'm going to activate with the Wardens.
Sure.
And we will activate with the Venari Lord Regent as well. So the Venari Lord Regent first. He has 5 attacks. Hitting on 2s and 3s. 6s do mortal wounds. No 6s. Actually, 5s do mortal wounds because I got greater power to finish off last time. So you have 2 mortal wounds coming at you.
Okay.
And then 3s to wound. 1 at -1.
Okay, I got the 5-ups on the 2 mortal wounds. Saved 1 of those, so they're going to take 1 mortal wound, and then it was 2 at -1?
1 at -1.
1 at -1, it's going to be on a 5. And I make that, so I take 1 damage there total.
And then he has 3 more attacks. 3s and 4s. 3s and 4s. 2 saves, no rend.
2 saves at no rend, they're going to be 4s. And going to make one of those 1 more damage.
Okay. And then the Wardens. So 26 attacks. I'm going to put them all into the Gargant. Now these are going to be hitting on 3s. Because you charge me with Glutos, they are +1 to wound and -1 rend. 3s. Take out these fails.
And they are -1 to hit. You're counting that.
I wasn't, but I will now and take these 3s out. So that's going to be 4 mortals. And that is going to be for 5 total. 6 total at -1.
6 at -1. Because of the Mystic Shield, these are going to be on 4s.
He failed to miss.
Excuse me. Because of the Finest Hour, these are going to be on 4s. So 3 are going to go through. I'll pile in with the Chaos Knights then here. I'm going to spend a command point for all-out attack. And I am going to use my Triumph for +1 to wound.
Yep, and I'm going to spend a command point for all out defense.
Sure.
Now remember, they're in Shiny Company, so
I get -1 to hit. That'll be canceled out by the all-out attack. I've got a total of 9 lance attacks here. They are re-rolling everything due to the Prayer of the War Shrine.
Yep.
So these are going to be on 4s and 3s. 4s up to 5s, back down to 4s. Re-rolling all. And then 3s to wound. Re-rolling, but don't need any, so that is going to be 6 at -2.
So these are 6s to save with the all-out defense, which I saved 1, so that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 total dead.
Okay, and then I've got the hooves and teeth attack. So that's going to be 8 of those, currently on 4s and 3s with all the modifiers factored in.
Yep.
Also re-rolling everything. So that is going to be 6 at no rend.
These are going to be 4-up saves, and I save 1 of them.
Just 1 damage each on those.
There's another 5. So I have 5 guys left. I am going to activate my wardens. They get a 1-inch pile in.
Those in the back can't pile in that direction, just so you know.
I get no pile in.
Because they have to pile into
Yeah,
places.
unless I want to break Shiny Company. So I'm just going to attack with my 1 lonely man. This is going to be a mortal wound and 1 save to make no rend.
Okay, 4 up on the save, made that, and then a 5 up on the mortal wound, and made that.
Oh!
My next activation then will be.
I have no more activation.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Oh.
I'm going to activate with Grunnock. I am going to spend a command point for the fight at top profile ability here.
Yep.
From Gur. And he is at +1 to wound because of his finest hour.
Yep.
So first off, he's got 1 death grip attack. This is going to be on 3s and 2s. And he's going to miss that. He doesn't get to reroll that because the target is not a monster. He then has his jump up and down attacks. These are going to be on 3s and 2s as well. He does get to reroll hit rolls of 1 here. So that is going to be 4 hits. And 3 at -2.
-2. That'll put me on a 5-up save with these because I used my Aether Quartz. Save 2 of them at 1.
D3. Oops. 1 damage.
Okay.
And then his Boulder Club is easily maxed out here on attacks, so it's going to be 10 attacks. So 10 attacks at 3s and 2s. Not great. Wow. Really not great. 2s here to wound.
Oh, jeez.
2 at -2.
These are 5-ups. Save 1.
2 damage. that is it for Grunnick. Disappointing.
Yeah, that was not ideal. The Sentinels are... I pulled them out of range to try to do some shenanigans later. So I activate them. I'm not going to pile in with them. They're out of range of combat.
Sure. My last activation then is this unit of knights in the middle. They're going to go ahead and pile in. Because of where they're at with this other unit of wardens, they're not able to get most of them in combat. It's just going to be 2, including the leaders, so going to have a total of 5 lance attacks. These are going to be -1 to hit, so they're on 5s to hit. Got 2 of them, 3s to wound, 1 at -2.
I believe that's a 5. I save it.
Okay. And then the hooves, 5s and 4s, 1 at no rend.
And that's a 3-up. And do not save.
Okay.
Uno Wundo.
Just one more thing to do in the combat phase, then Grunnick is going to grab one of these wardens and throw them. He's still at top profile because of the command ability, so this is going to be automatic. He's going to pick... That gentleman is out of coherency anyway, so no reason to pick him.
Which one?
This one.
Yeah.
As is that one.
Yep. Yeah, I'm definitely going to lose some friends here.
Going to pick this one right here to hurt you on coherency.
Yep.
And going to throw that at the wardens. So on a 4-up.
Throw them at themselves?
Yep. Yes. So that's going to do 1 additional mortal wound to the wardens. So that's going to bring us to the end of the combat phase. I did complete my battle tactic here. Overall, not as successful in killing wardens as I was hoping for, but I was more successful than I expected on killing sentinels. Feeling pretty good about that. I do collect a decent amount of depravity, but we've got some battle shock to take.
So I will roll for the Cathalar. On a 2-up, I will absorb the 15 losses from the Sentinels and put them on a different unit.
Sure.
It would be really nice if this went off. Which it did. I'm going to put the 15 losses over here.
And that's just going to auto-kill that unit. I don't have any command points to keep around.
Yes. So I am going to spend the command point from the Lord Regent over here to auto pass that. They're not in coherency, so I am going to have to pull until coherency's met.
I definitely went aggressive, definitely went all in. I figure if I can at least trade losses early on, then my summoning will help to compensate for that and give me the victory later on in the game. We'll see how that actually plays out. I currently got the Wardens locked in combat. The Battle Shock trick from the Cathalar destroyed my unit of Knights over on that flank, but overall I feel pretty good about my trade there in terms of the points I was able to pull off and the threat I was able to pull off by taking that Sentinel unit down to 5. I feel pretty good about that trade, and I think I'd make it again. But in hindsight, I definitely would have saved a command point to keep those Knights alive if possible. But,
yeah.
But not feeling too bad about where I'm at. The double here could be devastating, but that's how we got to go. Glutos, who's my general, and at least one other unit made charge moves, so I am going to get D3 plus 1 depravity at the end of my charge phase there. So that's going to bring me to 10 total depravity.
Okay. For my battle tactic this turn, I am going to pick Broken Ranks, and I'm going to pick that unit of 4 Demoness left.
Sure. Should be accomplishable.
At the beginning of my hero phase, I'm going to Finest Hour with my Venari Lord Regent.
Sure.
Which requires no roll.
I'm going to attempt to generate a command point with Grunk. And I fail.
Okay. And then at the beginning of the hero phase, I'm going to use a command point from the shrine to attempt to rally some Sentinels back.
Sure.
See if these dice treat me well. I get 1, which is more than I currently have. So
it's true.
And I can use that to bring back the leader, which will give me another cast.
Sure.
And then we will go into the meat of the hero phase. Teclis is going to choose cast 4. We are going to attempt Power of Hish with the unit of Sentinels, which I get on a 6.
You got it.
We are going to cast Power of Hish with the unit of 20 Wardens, which I get on a 7. I get on a 7.
You got it.
Okay. The Venari Lord Regent is going to attempt Greater Power of Hish, which I get on a 10.
Take it.
D3 units for 3. We are going to do it on himself and the unit of 5 Wardens.
Got it.
And that's all I can choose. Teclis is going to cast Okay, so with Teclis' first cast, he is going to cast Umbral Spell Portal.
Sure. I will let that go.
Let it go? Okay. His second cast, he is going to cast Protection of Teclis.
Sure. I will attempt to unbind that. It's going off on a 10.
Yep.
It goes off.
Okay. The third cast, I will use Storm of Searing White Light.
Sure.
You realize this one go?
Yeah, I'll let it go.
Okay. So we will start with the Chaos Knights, which they get D6 for 2.
5 ups. Block them both.
The brand new Shiny Chariot for D6 for 5.
Okay, takes it.
The Chaos War Shrine for D6 for 3.
Okay, he's got his 6 up. And gonna pass all 3 of them. May as well.
That was so good. The Demonettes over there for D3 for 3.
This is the unit of
This
9.
is the unit of 9.
3 of them?
Yes.
Okay.
The unit of 4 Demonettes for D6 for 6.
That will kill the unit.
And that is my battle tactic.
And you got it with a monster.
Indeed. On the Gargant, nothing. And on Glutos, for D6 for 6.
Oh, man. He's got 5 ups. And he's going to make 2 of those, going to take 4. Ouch.
Okay. I'm going to Mystic Shield as my last one on the Venari Lord Regent.
Sure.
Just to give him some protection. Into movement phase.
Cathlar has a cast.
Oh, Cathlar does have a cast. Let's try Total Eclipse. It's a cast on an 8. I get it on a 10 total.
Attempt to unbind that one with Glutos' last unbind, and it's going to go off.
Okay. Not a lot that I'm doing here. I was originally going to retreat my my Wardens, but with Goading Arrogance, I should be able to stop old Gronick from attacking into him. Teclis just kind of scooted forward a little bit. These Wardens stayed the same place because they're still in combat with those Knights. And then the Sentinels just kind of moved over. They get a little bit of range on some stuff. In the shooting phase, I'm going to shoot the Chaos Knights with Teclis. So this is going to be on 2s and 2s. And I miss. And then the 5 Sentinels, the 6 Sentinels with 5 shots, will shoot into the Knights as well. This is going to be 5 attacks, hitting on 4s. And that's 2 mortal wounds. And no saves.
2 mortal wounds on the Knights. They have their 5 up shrug. And both will go through.
Okay. Then we will go into charges. I'm going to attempt to make a charge with Teclis. I'll measure it if it's super close. That's a 4. So I will use a command point to reroll that. And I get an 8. That's going to be my only charge. End of the charge phase. You want to do your...
Yeah, so I'm going to attempt to stomp with Grunic into the wardens there. And fail.
Then I'm going to stomp on the Chaos Knights. It's a 2-up, right?
Yep.
Okay. For D3, for 1.
Okay. 5 up, ignore on the mortal wound. They'll take it.
At the beginning of the combat phase, I'm going to use a Teclis Aether Quartz to give him +1 to save.
Okay.
And the Goading Arrogance is going on Grunic.
Sure. Grunic, once we get into the combat phase, is going to use his ability, his hurled body ability. He is tabled pretty significantly, but they are just 1 wound models. So he needs to roll a 2-up here to successfully hurl. And he does. So he's going to hurl one of the wardens, and he's going to hurl them into the Venari Lord Regent on a 4-up. Nope. So it just kills the one warden. Yeah, and he'll kill this one right here.
Yep. And then we're going to activate those wardens and Teclis. So, with the wardens, there's going to be 8 attacks. These are -1 to hit. I'm going to spend a command point for all-out attack here.
Sure.
So they're hitting on 3s, wounding on 4s, mortals on 5s and 6s to hit.
Sure.
That's 1 mortal, 3 misses, and 1 save to make at no rend.
Okay, that's going to be a 4-up. And made it.
Okay, so just 1 mortal wound.
Got it.
And
He's
then
taken
Teclis.
22 so far.
Yep. And then Teclis is going to make his attacks. Sword of Teclis. These are 4s and 2s. Nothing there. And then Moonbright Talons. These are 3s and 3s. That is 2 of them, -2.
Okay, that brings these to 6s. And failed
2 damage each.
2 damage each, 4 damage total. Any other attacks there?
No, that's it for Teclis.
Okay. That's going to leave just the leader of the unit alive.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll activate Grunic. He can't really make any attacks here because of the Goading Arrogance again, so he's just going to pile in a little bit differently. Just going to pile in over to here, and then that is everything for him. Your activation, you don't have anything else.
I don't have anything else to activate.
Okay. The Knight is then going to pile in his 3 inches and make an attack on Teclis. He's got 3 attacks with the Lance. These are on any minuses?
Nope.
4s and 3s. Missing all. 2 hooves. 1 at 4 to wounds. No rend.
3 up. Saved it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that should be everything for the combat phase.
Okay. I do have a battle shock check I need to take with the Knights there.
Yes.
Or you do your battle shock first.
I'm going to spend a command point to save the wardens.
Sure, makes sense. And then the Knights are currently Bravery 7, -1 from the debuff that was applied to them earlier. Bravery 6. I've lost 3 of them, and it would take me 2 command points here to save 1 of them. So I just need to roll low here. And I do not. He's going to run away.
Saving that depravity.
So at the end of the battle shock phase, then I'll collect 1 for Glutos, Grunic, the Wardens, the Chariot, And the Daemonettes here are a total of 5.
Yep.
Brings me to 15.
I have completed my battle tactic, so I get 2 points. So it is 4 to 4.
You completed it with a monster, so it's 5 to 4.
I don't control that objective over by Grunnock because he's also a battle line unit.
Yeah, he doesn't count as battle line for list construction purposes because he's an ally, but he is a battle line for rules like this.
Yeah, I'm glad I got the Wardens out of combat. They're free to move. If I do get a double here, they're free to move wherever I want. I don't feel especially great about it, but especially with you having 15 depravity now, so you can summon kind of a lot.
I think a lot is going to come down to this priority roll.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Doesn't matter.
Gotta roll big on priority rolls if you want to win, I guess. It's a little bit tempting to go and burn one of your objectives here, because you're going to burn one of mine otherwise. I'm going to take the turn, even though it means you get to remove an objective.
I think it's going to be best if the fight comes down to that center objective for me. So I'm going to burn the objective that the Daemonettes are on.
Sure. For my heroic action, first off, I am going to attempt to heal with Glutos. And I rolled an 11, so I will fail at that.
So I'm going to Finest Hour with Teclis, just in case your plan is to get Glutos in and attack him. I need a little bit of protection. So
sure, makes sense. My battle tactic here is going to be Monstrous Takeover on this objective here.
Yep. Seems doable.
Hopefully.
At the start, I'm going to attempt to unbind the spell portal, which I do. Also, at the beginning of the hero phase, I'm going to attempt to rally the Sentinels. This is going to be 14 dice. I'm going to use a free command point from the shrine, and getting back 2.
Okay. Pretty good. So the War Shrine is going to attempt to curse that unit of wardens there. Curse is on a 4-up, and it fails. Glutos is going to attempt to cast the Endless Spell, Dreadful Visage, and currently getting that on a 7.
That is the Endless Spell?
Yep.
I'm going to automatically deny that.
Okay. Glutos is going to attempt to cast Mystic Shield, and they're going to fail that on a 3 on dice 4 total. We can then get into movement.
I'm going to use a command point here to redeploy the Venari Lord Regent. 2 inches.
I'm going to spend 12 of my depravity to bring on 30 Daemonettes. My movement in this turn is really about cracking one side of the army and getting deep into the opposing forces. That's all I can really try to do here. Bringing on 30 wounds worth of Daemonettes will definitely help me do that. Brings a lot of strength to that side of the army, and gives me kind of a glimpse toward victory. Not anything likely or certain at this point, but a glimpse. So I'm really just going to have to pile into the side, take off what I can, and then hope the swing back isn't too bad. So I've got a few charges to make. First one is going to be with Glutos. And with his +1 to charge from Godseekers, that's a 5. Next charge, probably the most important one, is going to be with the Daemonettes. They have a +1 to charge from Godseekers, so they need an 8-inch charge. They do have a reroll built into their War Scroll.
Yep.
And that is an 8 on dice, 9 inches total. They're going.
Got what you needed.
One more charge that matters then is going to be that Chariot going in.
You +1 with him?
Yep. Total is 6 inches.
Okay.
Now, the Chariot does have some impact hits.
Yes, sir.
So on a 2-up, it's going to be D3. On a 5-up, D6. D6 mortal wounds into the Wardens. 3 mortal wounds.
I save none of those.
Okay.
For my Monstrous Rampage with Teclis, I am going to use Roar on the unit of Demonettes.
Sure.
Which I get.
Okay. Grunic is, he's just going to try to stomp that Lonely Warden.
Yep.
And he does for D3.
Hey, he's dead.
3.
Oh, actually, let me roll these. Oh, almost saved him. And then I'm going to use the Goading Arrogance on Glutos. At the beginning of the combat phase, I'm going to use his last Aether Course.
Teclis's?
Yes.
Okay.
To give him an additional +1 to save.
So effectively on +2.
On +2 currently.
At the end of the charge phase, I do get some extra depravity there. Glutos charge, so that's going to be D3, and I made at least one other charge, so it's D3 +1. Going to be a total of 3 more depravity.
And Teclis is wholly within, wholly within 18 of the Cathalar, so we are going to give the -1 bravery to your Demonettes.
Sure. Piling in then with the Demonettes. 27 going into Teclis, including the leader, and 3 going into the Lord Regent. So there's going to be 55 attacks into Teclis, and these are going to be on 4s and 4s, but 6s here are going to explode because of the Hedonites rule, and because the unit is more than 20 models, or 20 or more models, each 6 is going to become 3 hits instead of 2.
Yep.
So I've got 30 attacks, and then I'll make 25 attacks.
Yep.
So 4s, 6s are 3. Total of 3 6s there. And 4s to wound. $12 saves so far. And then another 25. And so an extra 4 hits there from the 6s. And 11 more for a total of 23 saves on Teclis.
So I have 23 saves coming through. These are at -1. +1 from Finest Hour and +1 from the Aether Course. So I'm looking for 3s. So that is, let's take out the mix.
So I'll do something with 2 damage here.
So that is 5 fails and protection of Teclis for 3 that go through.
Hey, just that easy. And then I've got a total of 6 attacks going into the Venari Lord Regent that couldn't quite reach Teclis. These are going to be 4s. No 6s there. And 4s. Total of 2 at -1.
These are going to be 4-ups. Save them both.
Yeah.
Then I will attack with Teclis.
Sure. Going to be at -1 to hit because of Glutos there.
Yep. And +1 to wound because of Finest Hour. So it's going to be 5s and 2s for 1 and 1 at -3
Straight through.
for 1 damage.
Okay.
And then 6 attacks from the Talons at 4s and 2s for 4 of them at -2.
Straight through.
2 damage each, so 8 damage total.
Plus the 1 before, so a total of 9.
I'm going to activate then the Venari Lord Regent into
Sure.
Glutos. So he is going to use his Regent Sword. This is going to be 5 attacks, 2s and 3s. It's -1, so 3s and 3s. The 5s are mortal wounds, so it's 3 mortals. And 1 save to make at -1.
Okay, 4 up. Failed that.
4 damage.
4 damage. And the mount?
The mount, this is going to be 4s and 4s with the -1. 4 nothing.
Glutos is then going to activate, just slide over a little bit.
Yep.
And put all of his attacks into the Venari Lord region.
Yep, he has that -1 because he has Aether Quartz still.
Sure. Because of the amount of damage Glutos has taken, he just has Painbringer, Kiazu, and the Crushing Claws. So 3 attacks with the Painbringer, Kiazu's Wailing Great Blade. These are on, with the -1, these are on 4s and 3s. Just 1 hit. And 1 at -2.
It's going to be 5 up. At least we make.
Okay, and then the Claws, 4 attacks there at 4s and 3s. The 6s explode. Pretty useful roll. That's 6 hits from 4 attacks at -1.
-1? Yep. So these are going to be 4 ups. Should I make 4 of them?
3 damage each.
3 damage each, so I need to make 2 of these or he's dead. There's 6, right? Which I make 3 of them, so
sure.
he takes 3.
Sure. So the chariot piles in there, trying to get in range, doesn't make it in range for the 2-inch whips. So he's going to be out. That is going to be everything for the combat phase. Definitely didn't get the production that I wanted, but I got a lot of bodies on that objective, and I feel pretty good about that. Monstrous Takeover was my battle tactic, which I completed here. I am going to burn that objective because I don't see myself holding it for very long.
Yeah, and you will have a battle shock test to take over there.
Sure, and I'll spend my 2 command points to auto pass that.
Okay.
Battle shock. So with the 4 depravity at the end of the turn there, that puts me on 10.
Okay. For my battle tactic, I am going to pick Conquer, and I'm going to choose that objective right there.
Sure.
I think with my Wardens, I could probably pretty easily take that, as long as I make a charge. Beginning of the phase, I'm going to use my free command point from the shrine to try to rally back some sentinels again.
Okay.
4, 6, 8. So it's going to be 12 dice. And I bring 2 back. So I am back to a full unit of 10. For my heroic action, I am going to try heroic recovery with the Venari Lord Regent. He is bravery 8, so I'm looking for 7 or under. And I get a 3, so he's healing D3 for 2.
For my heroic action here, I am going to attempt to heal Glutos. Failed this last time. Gonna get it this time. Heal for E3, 3.
Into the hero phase proper, I am going to... Teclis is going to be casting 4. And we will go with the Venari Lord Regent first. He is going to cast Speed of Hish on himself, which I get on a 7-8 total with the Aura of Stelinar on Teclis.
Okay. I'll let that go.
Okay. The remaining unit of the Wardens is going to try to cast Power of Hish, which they do not get. They're going to use the free Shrine reroll. And I get it on a 7.
Sure.
The Sentinels are going to try the same thing, Power of Hish, which I do not currently get. I think I'm going to use an Aether Quartz to add 1 to that roll.
Okay, I'll attempt to unbind that with Glutos.
Okay.
And he will not unbind it.
So they are going to have... so they're going to get -1 bravery. The Cathalar is going to absorb it. There's no one within 18, so it's just going to fizzle.
Sure.
Alright, Teclis is going to cast some spells. Teclis is going to try to cast Storm of Searing White Light.
Sure. I will attempt to unbind that there. The depravity generation no longer outweighs it. It'll go off.
Okay. So we will go with the unit of Demonettes first for D6 for 4.
Sure.
Glutos for D3 for 2. Table words, so.
He does not.
Okay, so 2 on him. Gronach for D6 for 2.
Okay.
The Chariot for D6 for 4.
Yep. That's the Chariot.
And
it's 2d6 on there. Rough.
And the Chaos War Shrine. It's the only other thing in range. D3 for 1.
Okay. It's got its 6 up, and it will take it.
Teclis is going to cast Protection of Teclis.
I'll let that go.
Okay. For the next spell I cast, I'm going to cast Burning Simoom. It's got a casting value of 6. If successfully cast, I pick an enemy unit within 12 inches and roll a number of dice equal to the number in the unit. For each 6, the unit suffers a mortal wound. If the casting roll was 10 or more, the unit suffers a mortal wound on 5 ups.
Okay.
So that'll go off on a 10.
Sure.
So we will roll 17 dice for those demonettes, and 5 ups are mortal wounds. That is 8 mortal wounds.
Sure.
And then we're going to cast the Umbral Spell Portal. And then the Cathalar, which will be my last cast, is going to cast Darkness of the Soul, which goes off on a 7, which I get on a 7.
Okay. I will attempt to unbind that with Glutos' last unbind. This is your last cast.
Yeah, let me just make sure that I'm not within... Actually, I am. So it's going to be an 8.
8. Okay. And +1 to unbind. Gonna tie that with an 8.
Okay. So I'm going to pick your Gargant. Every time he makes a charge move, shoots, or fights, I roll 2d6 and try to beat his bravery. If I do, he can't make that move.
Sure, makes sense.
Okay. And then we will go into movement.
I'm going to redeploy with the War Shrine.
Yep.
He is a totem, so he has that ability. 1 inch. Make that slightly harder. Was hoping for something better there.
So for my movement here, I moved everything over to strengthen this flank a little bit with you crashing in with Glutos and potentially a Gargant next turn if you go next. The Wardens I brought up, I did break Shining Company so that I can charge the War Shrine and get on that objective. And the Venaria Lord Regent got up to your Fane to contest the objective a little bit if I can't kill off your Demonettes. Or if I kill off your Demonettes and I need more bodies on the objective, he counts for 2. So I'm just trying to get your objective and burn it as quickly as I can. Shooting phase. So we will shoot with the Sentinels into your Demonettes behind the building. This is going to be 9 shots, hitting on 4s, 5s and 6s do mortals. There's going to be 2 mortals and no hits.
Okay.
So get him out of here.
We will live.
Teclis can't shoot because he retreated. So we will go into the charge phase. The unit of 20 Wardens will charge. Declare a charge.
Oh.
That is an 11.
And with that successful charge, I think I can safely concede here. You'll take that objective regardless of what happens during this combat phase.
you'll be able to burn that objective and still have a stranglehold on your 2 objectives. There's no realistic way that I can come back from that. So I think I feel pretty comfortable conceding there. Had I gotten a bigger redeploy to make that charge harder, and maybe you hadn't rolled so high on the charge, there was a window there potentially, but yeah, I don't see it at that point. There's just no real way for me to get to that far objective, and you've got the central one locked up for now. So yeah, good game, Alex.
Yep, good game. There was a few things both of us definitely forgot.
The War Stomper was effective, but Goading Arrogance ultimately just kind of shut him down for 2 combat phases, so he didn't get to do nearly as much as his points need him to be able to do. And the one combat phase where he did get to swing into the Wardens, I think killed 1, 2, something like that.
Yeah, it didn't do a lot. Goading Arrogance is really strong.
Yeah, it's really strong. Glutos did what I would like Glutos to do, definitely effective, but being able to just turn off the fact that he's a wizard means that he's never going to get his points worth either.
Yeah.
Really. So it felt like there was a lot of dead points there. The Chaos Knights were kind of MVPs. They got stuff done for me. Summoning 30 Demonettes is great, but when it does 3 damage to Teclis, it's kind of pointless. The swing back will always take them off. So definitely felt the Hedonites book and where it's at. Right?
Yeah. And it's hard. I mean, I don't know. It's hard when you have so many options with Teclis to kind of be able to do whatever you want.
Sure.
To just break it wide open.
There were some moments that could have gone a lot better for me. Had I just saved the command point to keep the Knights alive, I'm probably in a much better spot there. Them just being a thorn in the side back there. But ultimately, your army is almost entirely battle line, and I don't have any real durable battle line outside of Grunnick. So being able to hold objectives on this battle plan really becomes very, very difficult.
Yeah, for sure.
Or being able to, especially being able to take objectives. Like, my Knights could come in there, and had they killed your Sentinels down to 1, you still hold the objective.
Yeah.
So it's kind of denies the ability to have a quick strike like that.
Awesome.
Good game.
On to round 2.
Yeah, on to round 2, which is going to be 2 matches, one on each side of the bracket. So this is going to be the Lumineth against Sylvaneth, which should be an interesting matchup. Definitely, I think, probably leans in Lumineth's favor in most ways, just because of the ability to auto-deny some of that really important casting. But it'll be interesting to see how that one shakes out. And then on the other side of the bracket, we're going to have Stormcast Eternals against the Ideneth, the triple turtle Ideneth list. So also anxious to see how that one comes out. But appreciate everybody hanging out until this point. So we've got 2 more games in the Fall Rubicon. We are going to have some more matchups coming up soon with some more Cruel Boys and some of the new models from Stormcast. We've got Bastion and some Grand Slammers waiting in the wings, ready to go. So
Bastion is so good.
Yeah, he is. So look forward to those matchups soon. And please give us a comment. Let us know the mistakes we made. We know a lot of them, but point them out for us anyway. And like and subscribe. Appreciate you hanging out and watching. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome.